Look inside your own thought process, your own attitudes towards life, your feeling towards other people and yourself, and find out what kind of thoughts and expectations you regularly indulge in. These create a powerfully creative consciousness energy force, which you are emitting throughout the day. It will attract to you exactly what you fear and expect. Sometimes the negative creative consciousness form is deeply buried in your subconscious, implanted there many years ago due to certain circumstances. Or the negative creative consciousness impulse may have come through from a past life. In any event, if you have been subject to consistently bad experiences, examine your inner state of consciousness and find out what kind of negative expectations possess your subconscious. And discover also, what are your attitudes and feelings towards other people? Are you expressing unconditional love on every level of your life towards every single thing in your experience? Are you able to see the light of the soul within all living things, or can you only see their ego drive, their darkness? Bear in mind at all times that your source of being is in two states, in equilibrium and activity. The active state of your source of being is the dimension in which you have been conceived and given individualization. The equilibrium of universal consciousness is the dimension of perfect silence and stillness, in which the underlying impulses of creativity are locked together in an embrace of mutual restraint. This is the Real Healing Institute. My name is Michelle Sinclair. I am a teacher of the Christ letters. Based on my study of these letters and my spiritual practice, I gained enlightenment from them, and you can as well. There is no one that is exempt from this. If you seek, you will find. So let's talk about this here. If you look in your own thought process, your attitude towards life and your feelings that you have towards other people and yourself, what kind of thoughts and expectations do you regularly indulge in? Why does this matter? Because those thoughts are made with the same energy as everything that you see around you. All of the things. Therefore, your thoughts and the vibration and the frequency that is contained within these thoughts, every thought is a vibration. Every thought is a frequency. You could think of this as you are filled with guitar strings. And when you think an angry thought, you're playing that certain string. And that thought, that sound, that vibration goes out, whether it is audible or not. That frequency, that vibration of that angry thought goes out, and it will pull to it things of like nature. It will bring to you more things to be angry about, because the universe knows what you are. It doesn't necessarily know what you want. You might know that, and if there's something that you want, then you need to be at that vibration. You can't just say, I want this, but be playing that string of anger and hate and saying, well, I don't want anger and hate. Well, then you have to stop playing that string, because what you're doing when you're emitting that vibration is you are attracting things that are just like it to you. So the other night, me and my friend Laura, we go out. We didn't really feel like leaving the house. We don't typically feel like leaving the house, but we were like, okay, we need to go to this party, because we were told we need to go to this pool party. And that the divine said you were going to meet some people there, and you need to go and meet these people there. So we go out. Not only did we meet some people, but every person that we met there also said the same thing of like, I didn't really want to come tonight, but the divine told me I needed to go because I was going to meet some people. So these people come over to our house. We hold circle, which of course we do these live here, and you guys can join us through Zoom if you'd like to do that. They're amazing and life-changing and transformative. And so these people come over to the circle, and we find out we have so many things in common, and these were core people we were meant to meet. So because we listened to the divine guidance, we ended up meeting these people. So then we hold another circle. at our house. And this is just spiritual teachings and messages that come through and profound transformations and activations that are happening in these circles. And so then we have another one yesterday. And the people, we were expecting, I don't even know how many people we were expecting, but I think we ended up with 14 coming over. And almost every person that came over, they were first timers. They were brought by a friend, somebody who had attended one of our circles before. It's like, you got to go to this thing. And so these people that came, we had seen them out and about in the community. We're in Sedona, Arizona here, and had both of us thought like, oh, I kept kind of seeing this person and thinking, should I go talk to him? And then I was like, well, if I don't, it's fine. We'll meet up with them again. And so then these people that we thought that about ended up showing up to our circle. And it's like, this is happening because the vibration that we are sending out, people are receiving it, and they are then coming. And they were so appreciative. And one of the girls that came there said, I have been praying for this, and she was in tears because she has been praying for this. Well, what happens when you are putting up that vibration of divine, I need you to send me this, I need some help in this way? When you believe and you expect it will happen, then it is going to happen for you. And so as we come together as this community, the reason why we are drawn and attracted to each other, and the reason why you're listening to this right now, is because you are vibrating at the same resonance. So this is how these things, none of these things are happenstance. You don't just, I just happened to find this. You didn't just happen to find anything. You were vibrating at that specific frequency, and so that thing appeared in your life because your thoughts, the energy that your thoughts are made of, is the same material that our world is made of. It's the same thing. This is why these things appear. And AI is a wonderful thing that can speed up this process and show you just how quickly it can come, right? You have a thought, and within an hour or two, all of a sudden it's this new thought that you thought just, came up out of nowhere has now popped up in front of you. Maybe it's on YouTube. Maybe it's on Facebook. Who knows where it is? But these things pop up in your life, not by happenstance, but because of the vibration that you actually are. So if you were to look inside your own thought process, your attitude, and the feelings that you have towards other people and yourself, and you were to find what kind of thoughts and what kind of expectations you regularly indulge in, these are creating a powerful consciousness energy force that you are emitting throughout the day. So you are that guitar string, all those guitar strings, and that force that is going out from you. So this is maybe repetitive thoughts, whatever it happens to be. Those chords are playing within you, and they will attract like. So if you have chaotic thoughts, you will attract chaotic experiences. If you have depressed, lowly thoughts, you will have depressed, lowly experiences. And you might say, well, I have them because I have this as my experience. Well, the reason you have that as your experience is because of the thoughts that you allow yourself to have. So if you want to change your life, you actually have to change your mind. You have to change your thoughts, and you have to change the words that are arising from those thoughts. And then that will also lead to different actions. But as you begin this process, or as you're deeply perhaps in this process of mentally cleansing, ask yourself this: what % of heaven am I living in right now? And what % comes to your mind? Whatever very first popped in your mind, that's right. So then you are planting that % of heaven in your day. So then the other %, that's not heavenly seeds that you're planting. And because you are playing those chords, you're planting those seeds, those are emitting from you through magnetism. They will be returned back to you. And Jesus called it reaping and sowing, that you reap as you sow. He's like, okay, so if your neighbor came over to you and he was like, hey dude, can you help me? I got to go walk 2 miles and go pick up this thing. And you were busy, what would you say? And so one of the guys was like, well, I would tell him I'm busy and you got to go find somebody else and, get out of here. He's like, okay. And then what happens later when you need help from your neighbor and you go to your neighbor and your neighbor turns you away? What would you think of your neighbor then? He's like, oh, well, I don't know. And somebody from the crowd said, oh, he'd swear at him. And Jesus said, yeah, you've answered rightly. He would. He would have forgotten that he had denied his neighbor. The seed that he had planted is being reaped. There is no laws for how long magnetism takes. Sometimes we are rewarded with things in this life that we built up in previous lives. Me and my friend Delora here were sitting on top of Airport Mesa, which is one of the beautiful vortexes here in Sedona, Arizona. If you haven't been here, I would highly recommend it. And so as we're sitting on top of that vortex, I was like, oh, should we move to this other place? We just kind of went up there to meditate. And she was told, oh, no, there's something we need to receive here. So it was like, okay. So I just sat there, a minute or a couple of minutes longer. And, I meditated cross-legged and my hands are open. And all of a sudden I see my hands starting to fill up with gold, but this is real old gold, like old coins. And I was told, well, you are receiving karma from a past life. You were going to be gifted this. And so then I asked for the story, and was shown. I was this woman walking around, and I had this little cloth type bag filled with money, and I was going and I was handing this out to children that were on the street. This is way back in the day. So whatever happened in that life, that generosity is now being gifted back to me. So we do not know. When something comes to us, we can just be thankful for it always, because we do not know why or where it has come from unless you truly examine your mind and go in your subconscious and you ask, like, where'd this come from? And then you'll get a story just like that and you'll see, oh, this is why it's coming in here. But when you do good, you will get good. And if that is not the case, then you need to examine your mind, because what is it that you are believing? What is it that you expect? If you don't believe that you're lovable, that will play out in every area of your life, because you are playing that chord, that vibration, and so then that will be shown and proven to you that you are not. It is not the truth. It is a product of what you believe. And so somebody could say, well, I don't believe in karma. Well, cool. If you don't believe in it good enough, maybe it honestly wouldn't affect you in this life. But karma brings order into chaos in the universe. Electromagnetism does, and it is actually inescapable. So you could test it out all you want, but it will be returned back to you. The good that you put out will come back to you, as does the opposite. And so this is a reason why we can be thankful for it. You might say, why would I be thankful if the negative comes back to me? Well, because then you have proof that you are the creator of your life. You're the creator. And when you can understand this, like, okay, well, I did this to that person, and now look at how I'm suffering this way. I cursed that person. I wished ill on them, and now all this ill has happened to me. Well, wonderful. What a blessing that is. Because now you can see how the universe works, and then you can change what it is that you are doing, and you can do something that is holy and something that is divine, and you will be rewarded in that way rather than the evil way that you chose in the first place. It is a necessary process, because if somebody just went around and they were just dispersing all this, negative stuff out and just spewing this on other people and it never came back to them, that wouldn't be the laws of the universe. That's not how it actually works. It's impossible. Magnetism is real. It's scientifically proven. And your thoughts are electric. So what you send out comes back to you. So this is not just, oh, I've done this thing, I took this action. No. What do you think? What thoughts do you consistently think throughout the day? Because that will be what is manifest in your life. If you generally think good of people, people will generally think good of you. If you think good of people 100% of the time, people will think good of you. If you go out there and you cause chaos and destruction, guess what will happen to you? Chaos and destruction. You cannot get love from hate. You can't. That's not how it works. It's a completely different chord. So if you're sending out, sorry, the dogs are going crazy. If you are sending out hate to somebody and you're expecting to get love back, that's not how it works, man. That's not going to be the result. And so that more than likely is not what it is that you want. And because that's not what you want, you got to stop playing that chord. So how do you do this if, let's say, that something totally catastrophic and destructive has happened to you? Well, let me tell you, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I homeschooled the kids. I did hypnotherapy, but I wasn't required to make the money. And then I find out that my husband was, screwing around and lying and doing all the things that he was doing. I was devastated. I wanted to die. I wanted my life over. I did not know that there would be a way out of it. I didn't see how there possibly could. The life that I had, that I thought I loved, was then over, and things were completely changed for me. And I was thinking, had I known this kind of stuff, I would have been thinking, how could this be happening for me? How is that even possible that this could be happening for me? But let me tell you, through that suffering that lasted for quite some time, through that suffering, but I studied the Christ letters even at this time, so I knew, that I was planting these seeds that I didn't want to be planted. I was so, mad and resentful towards him. I was so angry about it, but I didn't want to plant those seeds. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go up to my cabin, and I'm not going to come back until I've forgiven him, because I was thinking, this needs to be repaired. So I go up there with the intent of forgiveness and enlightenment, and I was like, I'm not leaving until it happens. And I didn't leave until it happened. And it happened. And it completely changed my life. And so then I take something like that was so devastating, horrible, that I wanted to die, wanted to off myself, but that was not an option, right? I had kids. That's not a freaking option. That's not an option. It's not an option. So it was like, well, I guess if I don't want to suffer anymore, then I need to heal this. And so then I went up to heal it, and it was like, I'm not leaving until it's healed. And not only did I heal it, not only did that happen, but I gained enlightenment. And so I then understood that this was a beautiful gift that had been given to me, that there was actually nothing to forgive, because had he not done that, I would not have had anything to heal, and I would not have gained that enlightenment that completely changed my life. So it was a blessed and wonderful gift that was given to me, even though it appeared not so when it first appeared to me. And so then realizing this, okay, the most devastating thing that happened to me in this life then led to the most wonderful thing that happened to me in this life. So then, to follow after that, if anything perceivably negative had happened, I would just switch it and be like, no, I'm thankful for this, because I know that this is happening for me, just like that happened for me. I know it's happening for me, so why would I want to suffer and plant seeds of feeling like hell and plant seeds of actual hell in my life, thinking that something that presents itself to me that is undesirable is not happening for me? It is happening for me. It's all perspective. And so then as soon as you realize that, when something presents itself to you and you think, okay, well, this has to be a good thing for me because everything happens for me. Well, as soon as you do that, you've alleviated yourself and you've now created heaven. And you're no longer suffering in that moment. You're just like, okay, well, I don't know why, but I know it's going to be a good thing, so I guess everything's going to be fine. And then you will see so very quickly, of course it was a blessing. Of course it was something that was gifted to you. Of course it was something that was for you. And then rather than planting those seeds of hell, I'm a victim, this horrible, terrible thing, you are then planting seeds of heaven that you are going to keep harvesting. So if you're having a difficult time understanding perhaps a certain area of your life, and just thinking, why can't this one particular thing work out in this way? Why, what's going on here? What chord, what vibration are you playing? Meaning, what beliefs are underlying? What emotions are attached to them? What thought loops are attached to that particular thing? And if you don't change it, that thing won't change. But if you do change it, that thing will change. But the best way is to clear out your consciousness. So, asking yourself, what percent of heaven are you living in? Okay, well, so then the other percent is the hell. Okay, so ask yourself, what is one thing that you could let go of today? What is one hellish thing, emotion, that you have within you that you need to let go of? Ask yourself what that is. And then that's the assignment. Get rid of that thing, because once you get rid of the thing is gone. Right? And then ask yourself then, okay, what percent am I in now? Okay, well, now I'm in this percent. Okay, what one thing do I need to let go of today? Okay, well, what's this thing? Okay, well, then that's the new assignment. Get rid of that one thing. And as you systematically deprogram your mind, you could do this with the Mental Cleanse series. There's a playlist here on my channel. I made it for you guys when I was up at my cabin and thought, at some point I'm going to get so busy that I'm not going to be able to help everybody, individually. And so I made this totally for free so that people can cleanse and heal their minds from the hell, and so that they can live in heaven, because we are in an evolution of consciousness and we are creating heaven here on earth. And this is the way to do it. Deprogram the mind, because the only thing that exists is love, and all else is mind. All else is introduced by the mind. Because you can go from one heavenly thought to one hellish thought, in 30 seconds. You could go back and forth 10 times. Heaven, hell, heaven, hell, heaven, hell. And as soon as you decide that you're going to master your life, and you're going to master your consciousness, and you're not going to allow the hell anymore, then your visible world will change, because the energy that is your thoughts is the same energy of all of this alleged visible matter that you see around you, right? The scientists tell us this. Nothing is actually solid. It's all made of vibration and light. Nothing's actually solid when you go in and you examine it real deep. And this is why, because our energy of our thoughts is the same, that we actually create heaven here through mind, but it is through the belief. It is gaining control of the mind, but it is through the belief. So what beliefs have not been helpful to you? It's time to eradicate them. What beliefs have been helpful to you? It's time to just appreciate and love those. And as you appreciate and love, and you send out more and more gratitude, you're playing those chords, those vibrations, and you will get more things to appreciate and love. So you really, truly could ignore all the bad. Not that you want to do that. We want to actually heal it, so that it's truly healed. But as you just focus on the gratitude and on the love and on the wonderful things, then you are planting those seeds not only in the now, so you're creating heaven for yourself in the now, but you're planting it for yourself in the future. And then what you're going to harvest is more things to be grateful and thankful for, because that's what's happening when you're like, oh, I'm so thankful for this, I'm so grateful for this. You've planted these seeds, you're going to harvest it again. But when you're like, oh, look at this thing, and you judge it and you criticize it and yell the things, well, that's what you've planted, and you're going to harvest that again. It's a choice. It's an option. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you already know what you want to do. That's why you're listening. And so as you begin to plant more and more seeds of heaven, you're actually creating heaven here on earth. And this is the evolution of consciousness. This is why we're here. And you know it. You feel it. You have been called, and you can feel that your purpose has to do with this upliftment of humanity. You feel it, you know it, that you are here to create heaven on earth. You might not know how you're going to do it, but you know what? It's just following and trusting and asking the divine for guidance, and you will be led to the right places. They are not happenstance. As you begin to play the vibrations that are helpful to humanity, you will magnetize to yourself other people who are playing those same vibrations, and together as a team, we will get it figured out. So this is what I have for you guys here today. If you were to look inside your own thought process, your own attitudes towards life, your feelings towards other people generally, and yourself, and find what kind of thoughts and expectations you regularly indulge in, these are the things. This is what your life is composed of. And so if there's changes that need to be made, make those changes. And then you will see that the things that are in your life actually change as well, along with those things. So if you would like to join me, I think it's about 5 days a week here that we have live Zooms. These are circle sessions, so there will be energy activations, there will be channeled messages, there will be teachings. The Christ letters, our calls are, 60 minutes to 90 minutes or so. We try to keep it into a 90-minute, maximum container. And whoever shows up on the call, you can just participate. You can speak about the things. All of our content goes up on YouTube, and so you can watch it again afterwards. You can follow us on the Cosmic Christ Force if you don't already, as there's tons of videos, and you can see what a circle is like and see if you want to join. And the link for that will be down below and also on that channel. Anyways, love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.